she goes. Gets the Punjab Kings into the final of the IPL 2025. The second final for them in 18 years. And it'll be a battle of reds come Tuesday night.
Punjab versus Bengaluru in the state of Gujarat. The stage for the final of the Tata IPL has been set. This after the Kings defeated five-time champions Mumbai Indians by 5 wickets in Qualifier 2 on Sunday to earn a rematch against Royal Challengers in Tuesday's showpiece, thus confirming that the standard of T20 franchise leagues will crown a first-time champion in its 18th season. Now, following his bold statement after his team's 8-wicket loss to RCB last Wednesday, saying, "We have lost the battle, but not the war." Shreyas Iyer fashioned a captain-like 87 not-out from 41 balls to command Punjab through a tricky phase after coming to the crease with his team at 55 for 2 in the 6th over before seeing them over the line at 207 for 5 in 18.5 overs in their chase of 204. That half-century was the right-hander's 6th of the season, with 4 of them coming in wins, summing up his importance to this Punjab team, which is also the principal reason he finds himself at the heart of what might well be the most important matchup in the championship game. That's opposite Australian paceman Josh Hazlewood. Now, in 60-20 innings against Hazlewood, Iyer has faced 22 deliveries, scoring 11 runs while being dismissed 4 times. Oh, that's going to be a key matchup. Now, 2 of those dismissals have come in his 10 balls faced in 3 outings against the Aussie Quick this season. And while we're on the theme of struggling, Punjab's ace seamer Arshdeep Singh has also found the going tough of late. Now, he started the season in red-hot form, copping 16 wickets at an average of 18.2 and an economy of 8.01. But he's only managed 2 wickets in his last 5 games, averaging a horrid 93.5 with an economy of 10.39. On the other side, though, RCB skipper Rajat Patidar has followed a similar pattern after he began the season with 209 runs in his first 6 games with an average of 34.8 and a strike rate of 157.1. Now, in 7 games since then, he has only managed 77 runs at an average of 12.8 and a strike rate of 113.2. Wow, so much to digest. International cricket commentator Nikhil Uttamchandani, did I get that out correctly?
Really?
Joins us to give his pick for who will break out of their funk on Tuesday in time to lift the trophy. I need to get out of my funk in trying to get Nikhil's last name correct. Uttamchandani, I think I got it perfectly this time. How did I do, Nikhil? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ricardo. My hands are up because of 2 reasons. One, first of all, the opening intro that we just showed and you read out to the fans, getting them ready for this game, I think it speaks to SportsMax being next to none in the region. It was thorough, and I feel like I am not needed here anymore because you basically covered a lot. But also, my hands are up, ladies and gentlemen, because if you guys were watching The Zone last week, you would know that I said the IPL will be won by one of the teams who finished in the top 2. We're in the final. Basically, I can't be wrong. So the cricket predictor strikes again. Is that not true? Ricardo, is that not true?
There is a lot of truth there, but I also felt that in a way you were backtracking on the qualifier 2 on Friday. You weren't sure if Punjab would go on to win, but you were hoping that they would, because then you really couldn't be wrong. But I give you credit. You're spot on. You're much better than the football predictor. I can't even call him guru anymore, but we'll get to that later. But let's talk about yesterday's match, and let's talk about Shreyas Iyer's performance, because it was quite brilliant. As we said, his team in a tricky position, and he was able to navigate through that and produce another quality innings. Talk to us about how good that qualifier 2 was yesterday and the performance specifically of Iyer.
Yeah, Ricardo, I think, first of all, looking at the game big picture, for me, it was one of the most enjoyable games of cricket I've seen in a long time. And that is just because of the quality that was on display. I mean, 2 really good teams and so little separating the two sides when you know what's on the other side. A chance for Punjab to go to, only their second final and win their first title. And for MI, a team that have always been in and around challenging for the IPL title, a chance for them to regain a place in the final. So there was so much on the line. And I think it speaks to, again, the quality of Shreyas Iyer. The one thing that stands out to me with this guy is just his calmness. He hit the winning runs yesterday, not just in any fashion. He hit it for 6 and then just took off the helmet. There was a camera positioned on him throughout, I think, 20 seconds after he hit the ball. And no reaction, just calm. He said after the game he was in the zone. I really admire the way he has gone about leading this franchise, but also then the way he has managed the responsibility and has allowed it to translate into his batting this season. I remember coming on the show before the IPL and looking at this team and saying, who would score the bulk of the runs, if not Shreyas Iyer? Well, he scored so many runs that they've only had to have small contributions from Inglis, Wadera, Shashank, and others because he has been the star of IPL 2025.
Yeah, without a doubt, and he's now led 3 franchises to the final. But I want to know, Nikhil, how calm do you think he will be in tomorrow's final, especially when he comes up against Josh Hazelgod?
Well said. Look, I think very calm. It's amazing because you watch him in that RCB game in qualifier 1. He didn't look calm. The shot he played, the way that the team batted, it wasn't calm. But I think they've learned from that. And just judging by the way, even after losing a couple wickets early, chasing 200 plus, just judging the way he went about building his innings, I think he will be very calm. I think he'll be better off than he was in qualifier 1. And look, let's not forget that the Punjab Kings played on this exact surface in game 1 of the tournament. They scored 243. Iyer, again, was the one with runs. He'll definitely take some confidence into this final, knowing that he's got 2 50s, not only 50s, 2 big 50s in Ahmedabad this season.
Yeah, and I said last week that Royal Challengers Bengaluru had a slight name change coming into this season. When IPL cricket started, it was Kings 11 Punjab that this team was called. They've had a name change. Neither has ever won this IPL title, but a first-time champion will be crowned tomorrow. Take us through some of the other matchups and some of the other important factors that could determine who lifts the title on Tuesday.
Yeah, great question because there are quite a few. First of all, you look at RCB's bowling this season. Obviously, that's been the big talking point, how much they've improved as a bowling unit. The major improvements have come from their new ball bowling. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Josh Hazelwood, the two of them have allowed RCB to be the best power play bowling team. I look at, in RCB's bowling, I put it down to 2 things. One, how well they start in the power play, but then the same way that Jasprit Bumrah went for 40 in qualifier 2, and to me, that was the difference in the game. I equate Hazelwood's impact to this RCB team very similar. I think his 4 overs could easily decide the game. There's a few other mini ones, like Surya Sharma, bowling to right and left-handers. He's been way better the leggy against right-handers. So then that brings Nehal Wadera, who we saw keep mid-stand out the game. His left-handed presence in that top order is very important.
Yeah, Nikhil, last Thursday in qualifier 1, RCB beat Punjab Kings handsomely. It was a no contest. They won by 8 wickets with 60 balls to spare. How much does that result impact, if only mentally, on the two teams going into this match? Because I suspect it may not practically, because these are really good teams, but mentally there must be something going on there.
Yeah, it's tough to say because I assume it'll be on an individual basis and what each individual is taking away from that game, Lance. But what I will say is we know in sports, there's always a psychological advantage. And especially if, let's say, Hazelwood and Bhuvaneshwar are able to get early wickets with a Yash Dayal, I think there will be flashbacks of what happened previously. But I do think, given the structure and the way the tournament has been set up, that win would have done them so much good in terms of their confidence. They would have had time to reflect. They would have had time to come together after that game. I think that will be far at the back of their mind. And again, this is where you probably want your more experienced guys, the Pontings, the Ayers, the Arshdeep Singhs, leading the team discussions to say, look, we know this team has beat us 2 out of 3 times this year, guys, but there's just as much expectation on us as there is on them, as there is on us, because they too have gone 18 years without a trophy. and we know RCB's fan base and the expectation that comes with it. That's self-explanatory. So look, I think a lot will come down to the toss, Lance. This Punjab team have been a good chasing team. They've only lost once in 6 games chasing. But if they bat first, although they've won batting first as well, I think a couple of times in that RCB game against KKR, they look like they're unable to try to find that right pace to go at. They want to go hard, but sometimes they end up going too hard and are unable to recover.
Yeah, and in the opening presentation with the statistics and so on, I know India is pretty hot at this time of the year, but any thoughts on why 2 of the key players, Arshdeep Singh and the RCB captain, have gone cold at such a crucial time in the tournament?
Yeah, it's tough because I think with Arshdeep, right, every game he's going to bowl 2 overs in the power play, 2 overs at the back end. Literally the hardest overs to bowl in T20 cricket. It's always tough for a guy to sustain a performance at that quality over 2 months. And I think in cricket, you always go through ups and downs in anything in life, really. And it just happens that his ups and downs, his down is sort of now. What I will say, though, is I fully expect this guy. First of all, he's got a great record against Phil Salt. I think he's got him out 4 times in 2025, a few times for India, a few times in this year's IPL. So I think if he can get a wicket early, it will really reset his confidence. For Patidar, it's been a season filled with injury. He hasn't been as dominant against spin. But again, because Virat Kohli and Phil Salt and even Jatish Sharma at times have been so good, it's almost papered over the cracks. So I think it actually helps Patidar knowing that others are stepping up. He can almost come out and bat that free, aggressive, fluent way that we're used to seeing him. But yeah, I expect both of them in a big game to step up.
Okay, well, we know that you're on a crest of a wave now on your predictions because you've gotten it right up to this point. But as we promised on Friday, Nikhil, you have to pick the winner now. You did suggest, to your credit, that these would be the 2, but who will be the one standing?
So I want to say something. I read somewhere, right? This is just a whisper. I read that Phil Salt, there's a small chance that he could miss the game for the birth of his first child. I think it was an article on Cricket Info. If he doesn't play this game, I think, so it's a conditional prediction. If he doesn't play the game, I'm going to pick Punjab Kings. But I think, for me, in my gut, I've spent all 12 hours of this day that I've been awake thinking about this decision. And in the end, my gut is telling me Royal Challengers Bengaluru, 18 for number 18.
Yes. Virat, finally, right?
Yeah, I wonder if Chris Gayle is going to be somewhere celebrating. He did take RCB to a final one season.
He did all he could.
Except in the final, but we're not getting into that. Just one quick one, Nikhil, and maybe by the end of it, we'll get to a stage where you can give us a prediction that is not conditional. But there have been 51 scores of over 200 in the IPL this season. Has to be the most in the history of the tournament. 11 of them have come in Ahmedabad, where the final will be played tomorrow. Are we to expect much of the same in terms of a high-scoring contest?
Most definitely, Ricardo. And I think that's why RCB won't be too bothered by the fact that they haven't played there this season, because everyone knows what to expect. 8 times batting first, 7 of the times 200 plus, and the 8th time was 196. It will be a runs fest. You've got 2 powerful batting lineups to come and to fire, and I expect the Royal Challengers Bengaluru to win.
Yeah, by the way, did you consult the football prediction guru on this one?
He was not available today. I think the service lines in Jamaica are down. So luckily, either fortunately or unfortunately, we'll see. I wasn't able to contact Lee J today, but I'm sure he would have been on my side as well.
I'm sure. By the way, Donald, what was his prediction for the Champions League final on Saturday?
He's coming up shortly. You can ask him.
Okay, we certainly will. He's coming up after this. Nikhil.
Don't tell me that he picked Inter Milan to win. Please don't tell me that.
Nikhil, we'll catch you tomorrow, where hopefully for you, it will be Royal Challengers Bengaluru who are champions of the IPL for 2025. Take care. We'll catch up. All right, remember, you can witness history when either Punjab Kings or RCB lift their maiden IPL title live on SportsMax Tuesday. That's tomorrow from 10 a.m. Eastern Caribbean time. That will be 9 o'clock in Jamaica.